No, this wasn't planned. I didn't plan to have a badass fucking sunburn and hate my life to just look like a character from the movie Gutterballs. I'm just an idiot. So I have to admit something, people. I used to be a little prick on the internet. When I was 12 or 13, I didn't have access to all these movies. And I used to just make up my own opinion based on reviews from people I respected, I guess. And a lot of those movies I'm actually looking back on, rewatching, and being like, holy shit, those are actually good movies. A movie that I sadly dismissed or snubbed at the time is today's movie, Gutterballs. Now it's a really independent, low-budget film from Canada. For people who don't know, Ryan Nicholson's Gutterballs is a movie from 2008 that kind of came out of that whole grindhouse influence. Now the story is pretty simple and it's straight to the point. It's highly inspired by classic genre cinema such as I Spit on Your Grave, and it honestly feels like if Nail Gun Massacre was a good movie, which, by the way, that movie literally fucking sucks, but Gutterballs feels like that movie, but good. So the story is pretty simple. We have two groups of douchebags, and that was one of my biggest pet peeve when I watched it for the first time when I was like 12. I'm like, well, all the characters are dislikable. Like, it's true that the characters are idiots and the dialogue is not really great.
Did you come here to lick my nuts?
The point is, they're cartoony. And honestly, I still do love trauma movie. This just feels like a trauma movie, but not made by trauma. Anyway, these two groups of little douchebags play bowling together. I guess when the bowling alleys close, they get the keys and they play against each other. Our main group of douchebags, afterwards, they kind of get into a fight with the other group. Well, later, after they're done the game, the girl from the other group is like, oh no, I forgot my purse. Oh, I'm gonna go back in there. And what happens? Well, she gets gang raped, and that scene is highly influenced by I Spit on Her Grave in the same way that it's a group of four, and there's one that's, not really a willing participant, but he still participates, but he's influenced by the group of little douchebags. So, your typical rape and revenge film. Afterwards, the next day, there's this big, long, never-ending bowling competition between the two groups, and honestly, you're like watching the movie and you're like, holy shit, how long can a bowling game be? So that's my biggest pet peeve with the movie. Who won? They slowly get killed one by one by this mysterious slasher villain, which is, honestly, it's pretty cool. He has this bowling bag, I guess bowling ball bag over his head with like little holes, really reminiscent of, like I said, the early Friday the 13th and the Nail Gun Massacre, and it looks pretty cool. And the main focus of the film, that's what I missed and I was too ignorant to really realize, is the incredibly detailed, amazing special effects work. All practical gore, all looking amazing, and the kills are pretty creative. The only kills I didn't like were the first one, I think Death by 69. Like, it kind of sounds funny when I say it, but in the actual movie it's just two people like pretending to choke on each other's genitals, so it's not as creative, but they do get creative and they do get very gory, and that's what this movie is all about. It's a showcase of practical gore effects, and it is a brutal. Everything is secondary. The plot is thin, but again, it's an homage to exploitation genre films, so I can accept that. Characters are douchebags. Again, a lot of the exploitation films didn't have good guys or bad guys, but they were well written. This isn't really well written. Most of the dialogue is trying to be edgy, and that's demonstrated by, I think this is the movies with the most FPMs, and for people who are uninformed, FPM stands for fucks per minute, and a lot of shitty puns about balls.
Me
need some real balls, Lisa? I got just a pair for you right here.
That's pretty much the entire movie, but it does focus on gore. Honestly, if you're just looking to turn your brain off and watch a splatter film, this is it. It's a good splatter film. Now, the Blu-ray, Unearthed Films, they did get the permission, the license to redistribute most of Ryan Nicholson's catalog. Now, Ryan Nicholson sadly passed away before this whole ordeal happened, may he rest in peace, and I think these releases are great tributes to what he stood for and what he wanted to make as an art form. This Blu-ray is good. I watched the extras. There's a little documentary making of, very interesting. My biggest problem with this movie now, we get into the negative. Like I said, if this doesn't sound like the type of movie you would enjoy, you probably won't. But if this sounds like a movie you would like, then you'll like it. Now, on a technical aspect, the movie looks very good. Now, it's really hard to remaster early 2000s, well, mid 2000s digital video footage. Like, it's really fucking hard. And kudos to Unearthed Films. They did a good job. The movie looks good. Now, this is more a problem with the production. The sound quality is terrible. The audio out of this film is dog shit. And that's a tip for any inspiring filmmakers watching this. Audio is as important, if not more, than video. Now, if I did this entire review with my camera microphone, you guys wouldn't watch it at all. You would be but like, this sounds terrible, I'm Xing out. This is that movie, and honestly, from the behind the scene footage I saw like one clip with a boom mic operator, with an audio guy. It sounds awful. There's entire scenes that I missed dialogue, and luckily for me, the dialogue isn't that great, so I probably just missed like 2 puns about balls.
Fuck you. We're just waiting on Patrick, faggot.
Well, fuck it, let's break it down.
Anyways, conclusion. I should have never snobbed this movie, and now I'm actually interested in seeing more of the catalog of Ryan Nicholson's films. Now, luckily, like I said, they're all coming out from Unearthed Films. Am I gonna get all the Blu-rays? Like I said, they're mid-2000 digital video films, so honestly, I'm willing to save a few bucks on the DVDs. So, do I recommend this film? If this sounds like the type of films you enjoy, highly recommended. It is truly a ball of a movie, and if this sounds like something you wouldn't enjoy, you probably won't. It's a pretty violent, sexually explicit film, but I enjoy it, so thank you guys and see you next time.